County yesterday, a gunman shot two kindergarten boys, then turned the gun on himself. Tonight, Butte County Sheriff's officials talked about it.
And they had a lot to say. They released the identity of the shooter. His name is Glenn Litton, described as a homeless man with no known address. We know he has a long criminal history that spans back to 1991. They believe the shooting was targeted.
We also have learned the identities of the victims. They are Roman Mendez, 6 years old, in kindergarten, shot twice. The other, Elias Wolford, he was shot once. They both sustained internal injuries. Both have been now listed as stable, but a long road to recovery. We know they were rushed to Sacramento area hospitals, believed to be at UC Davis Medical Center. Of course, they are both in critical condition. Esteban
Reynoso is live in Butte County. He was there for that lengthy news conference, and they had a lot to say. Esteban, where do you want to start?
Marley, Tony, yeah, a lot to say. And I want to start off by saying the victims that they are still fighting for their lives tonight. Those kindergartners, little boys, Roman and Elias, that were just playing, probably doing what kindergartners do. And that's when this shooter, who has now been identified as Greg Linton, opened fire there. Now, what we know is that they are still alive and they are in that stable condition. But what we know also is that the suspect had a very lengthy criminal history involving fraudulent activities, as well as other things stemming all the way back to when he was a juvenile. Now, we know that leading up to this, to the shooting here, to his visit at the Feather River Adventist School there on Cox Lane in Palermo, that he had set up a meeting with the principal there. Now, we're going to go to a soundbite here from the sheriff, who shows or really details how that meeting took place and how Linton was able to get on the school grounds.
His story was that his daughter had recently moved to Gridley, and that he wanted his grandson to go to that school, and he was willing to pay for the tuition. As it turns out, that was all a lie. His daughter had not moved to Gridley, and he did not have a grandson.
Yeah, we now know that the next of kin of Linton has been identified, or has been notified of his death. Now, they say that it was from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound after he opened fire on that campus. Now, we are still learning a lot more about the history, about the actions, the motive leading up to this shooting. What we do know is that he himself, Greg Linton, the suspect in this case, did attend an Adventist church school in Paradise. He is from Butte County, and after being released from prison, after becoming homeless for that meantime, he was in Chico, grabbed a bus to Orville, and that's the more details that we are just continuing to learn about this really unfortunate case. But of course, the top of mind on everybody right now is the victims, and hoping that they're going to be okay.
Yeah, let's hope so. I was just thinking about the added cold-blooded nature of what this guy did. Making a ruse, if you will, just going through the lengths of establishing connection to get inside and to gain access to these kids. And I know if you mentioned it, I'm sorry, but he also had an alternate possible target in mind, correct?
Yeah, there was another school in Red Bluff, California, which is north. It's in another county. It's north of Butte County. And that's where he also put in his name to be on, to meet the principal, to be on a tour of that school. Now, it's unknown if that was a potential where he was going to take the gun to be an alternative target, but it seems like it's a copy paste of what happened there in Palermo, where he called the principal, set up a meeting under the alias that he used, knowing that he has a history of identity theft, setting up under that fake name and potentially going on that campus too, there in Red Bluff.
All right, Esteban, thank you. We'll hear from you soon on more information on the shooting.
Yeah, absolutely concerned.